All right, so this is my single page app that does clicker questions using Google Apps Script, Google AppSheet, and peer.js. So in the app sheet, which is really easy to set up, you very simple, you can just add a question. So you would add and you could say, I don't know, which is easier, and I'm not going to add an image. But I'm going to add some answers. So let's do JavaScript, and then let's do about Google Apps Script, and we'll do one more about JS. Good. So then you can save that, and this orange thing is sort of doing all the business. And what that is doing is that's adding to the spreadsheet. So if you look under questions, you now see which is easier to learn, and its ID starts with a 7. And under answers, you see these 3 with the 7 on it. The questions, if they have an image, it would go right here, but I don't have an image in there. So what does it look like when you're in class? So when the instructor loads the page, it kind of looks like this. So I'll just hit reload so you can see how the peer.js stuff goes. So connecting server, saving the peer ID to the spreadsheet, that's key. And then now the participants can reconnect. And so over here, let's say they just decided to join. So I'm going to hit reload, and I'm going to get rid of this, and it's ready to go. So now I'm going to go to a question, what's your favorite snack? And the participants can vote, and then it shows up. And I can just duplicate this tab here, and we'll just have 2 different votes going on. So let's say that person voted for fruit. And then we say, oh, let's do a question with an image. So the image shows up, and then notice that the new answers showed up for both participants here. These 2 look exactly the same. This one's going to say no, and notice that after they vote, they can't vote again. And this one's going to say yes. And then if they wanted to game the system and they hit reload, they're like, oh, I'll just refresh and then I'll be a whole new user. So I'll do that. And if I can't remember what this person said, so I'm going to say yes to this one. And basically nothing happens because, so I'm going to remember I said yes to this one. So I'm going to hit reload and I'm going to say no this time. I'm going to say no. And what happens is the old vote gets deleted if it detects that it's from somebody. If once a connection is denied, then it just gets rid of that vote. It just doesn't update the graph until that person tries to vote again. So if you're like, oh, let's do this again, you can just come in and come back to the same question. It just clears everything, and then they can vote again. So we'll both vote yes this time. So then, it's just super easy to go back and forth among all of the questions. Again, if it doesn't have an image, it just uses the space a little bit better. And I just set the font to be gigantic on the phones here. So they just click on the word and their vote shows up. So that's about it. So you use AppSheet to set up the questions. The spreadsheet just stores everything. And then Google AppSheet, it's this crazy URL, which won't work for anybody but me right now because I'm using the dev version. Just works, and there's no logins. It's just like, hey, let's run it right now. Maybe we'd show a QR code or something.